City. BJ, it's the team's first match at Joe's Park in more than a month. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to be back home and, of course, what you expect to see Saturday from Orlando?
Yeah, I mean, the whole group is excited, 3 road games. And so for us to be able to come back and kind of restart here at home, we know the fans always bring the energy. We feed off that energy. We've been really good at home throughout the season, and we expect that to continue. So really looking forward to doing it. A very good team in Orlando coming in, a team that's in really good form. Congratulations to them for advancing to the semifinal. When it's in the Leagues Cup, you do root for the MLS teams. So for us, but we know a powerful attack and a really experienced defense combined with a really good coach. So everyone at NSHvORL should expect a really fun, exciting, competitive match.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Bob today and just go down the line. And if you have 2 questions, go ahead and ask them.
BJ, what did you learn from that last game?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's we started off really well. A little bit choppy with the different breaks, but I think for us, it's just how we can remain consistent. I think how do we stick to what we want to do? We want to still use the ball, control the opponent with the ball. So for us, I think what we really learned from is with that if we do the little things all the time, I think we can be a successful and consistent team.
Larry?
Yeah, BJ. You focus on process a lot, and you talk about how the day-to-day process hasn't changed. But how has morale been in the locker room with 3 losses in a row for the first time this season?
Motivated, increase in communication, increase in focus. I mean, that's what I think you see out of an experienced team like this that expects to win. And you're right, we focus on process, but the process is because that's what we control every day. And how we come to work every day to get the results that we want, right? We are a team that wants to pursue trophies. We're a team that demands and expects to win games. It's just not something that we sit there and think about all the time, right? We know what the expectation is, but we want to be focused on how do we do that. And we do that by our day-to-day daily habits, doing the little things. And so that's I would say that's where the group's mindset and focus is at the moment.
And then you had 4 players listed in the out on the injury report: Gaines, Lovitz, Meyer, and Washington. Any update on all those 4?
Gaines out, Meyer out, Lovitz is sort of day to day right now. And who's the 4th guy? Washington out.
Good.
How much also is this match kind of a litmus test of the team that's neck and neck with you there at the table?
Yeah, I mean, the whole Eastern Conference is neck and neck. So, I mean, we know where we are, we know what we have to do, and we know what type of opponent's coming in. So for us, they're all big games, and we're happy to be back at Geodis in front of our home crowd to play a big game. And so I think the group will be prepared to give it their best effort.
How important is that, the idea of just getting to sleep in their own bed, doing their pregame routine in a familiar environment?
No, I think it's crucial, right? I think we're all sort of creatures of habit a little bit sometimes, and for us it's great, and we know the type of energy the energy boost, I would say, that we'll get when we come out and in front of our home crowd. So for us, it is good to get back to routine, get back to kind of doing our normal preparation, and then we know that little extra emphasis will be here that we'll have I'm hoping 30,000 people behind us.
Obviously, you don't enjoy losing, but is there a value to getting punched in the nose as the playoffs approach? Because it's been pretty smooth sailing for you guys all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can learn lessons when you win and lose, for sure. I think the teams that have beaten us recently have taught us really good lessons, and we have to be humble about that. And that's what this group is about. It is sort of we're focused on how can we learn and get better, and you can find those learning moments in there and make those corrections. So I think for us, we're just kind of focused on continuing to improve in those certain areas.
And I know you have to value opportunities, because you had opportunities early in the last one to really jump on New York.
And that's something that we've talked about, right? Like that's something to talk about. And we've been very, in our group, we've been explicit about that. If we get a first goal, we want to get a second goal. We want to be a team that goes and can do that, a winning mentality. And we've had that, and we're still here. So it's not, we're still a good team. We believe that, and we look forward to showing that again on Saturday night.
We'll go to Ben on the Zoom.
Yeah, hey BJ. Orlando, it feels like they're always just one of the teams that are just really tough to play against, and just not a ton of fun to play against, but also have a lot of quality in the attack. What have you seen from them this year, and what do you think has made them be able to string such a kind of successful run together over the last month or so?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a consistency in the group over the last couple of years. You have a really good coach in Oscar, and so you can see a really cohesive unit that's battled through long MLS seasons, had success, has won things. And when you look at uniquely to them right now, is that they have a very clear identity, and you look out there and they have, I would say, 5, even maybe 6 guys that can put up 10 goals or more in a season. And so, there's great depth to them. There's great quality and individual quality, right? You have guys that can take you on one-on-one. They have guys that can play combination play. So they're really a dangerous team because they can do a lot of things well.
And then obviously you mentioned some of the left backs who are either day-to-day or out. And I know not having Dan and not having Alex last week meant that you were looking at just different options on the left side. Do you feel like maybe there needs to be a little bit more balance? I know a lot of kind of the attacks have started from the right side. Do you feel like there's anything that you guys need to do to maybe make it the left side a little bit more productive in the attack, or are you kind of happy with where things are?
I mean, I think in general, we want to be a team that can control the opponent with the ball and move them side to side. So whether it's how we actually advance our attack and get into the final third, that's not something that I'm overly concerned about. What I am focused on and what we're focused on is, can we move the ball from side to side and get it from side to side, shift the opponent, control them, and then that'll open the spaces that we want to find to advance the attack.
Jacob on Zoom?
Yeah, BJ, obviously Walker Zimmerman came off the bench, missed a game against St. Louis, came off the bench against NYCFC. Is there maybe more of a luxury you have with him this season to have the capable capable defenders in Jack and Jason that you can trust even just to maybe not necessarily have to rely as heavily on Walker to make sure he's in the best condition possible.
I mean, I think we want to create as much depth in the team as possible, and I think we want to create as much competition in the team as possible, and that brings out the best of everybody. And you can see that, specifically to the center back position. There's been really good performances by all 3 of those guys, and it's a constant battle each week to compete.
And I guess what were maybe the biggest things you learned about your team just from the U.S. Open Cup round 16 game against Orlando, which you won 3-2 back in May?
I think it's a team, again, that showed our depth, showed that there's guys that can step up and can compete against a really good team away in Orlando. I think there was an opportunity that we were able to score some goals. We were able to control moments in the game or periods of the game with the ball. And, so at the same time, I think there's some opportunities that we could learn from because they have a very dangerous attack. So for us, it's certainly a game that we would look back on and pull some lessons from.
It's 90s night. Can you do some 90s trivia?
I guess I can, but I'm not. I'm going to set the bar pretty low.
We'll try to keep it. All right. I graduated college in '93.
Okay.
You've got one player who was born in '93. Do you know who that is?
93. So 20. No.
It's Walker.
Walker in '93. Yeah. Okay. What was the top song in 1993 on the charts?
I have no idea.
Me neither.
What is the performing name of Robert Van Winkle?
No clue.
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. All right.
And you're wearing the jorts kit tomorrow night.
Okay.
What 90s tennis star made jorts popular?
Agassi?
That's right.
Okay.
You got one.
Thanks. If you kept me in the sports world, I may have been able to.
I need 2 out of 3.
Got it. Fair enough.
What better way to end than Andre Agassi? Thank you guys. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Teal, team's first match at Joe's Park in over a month. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to be back home and also what you expect to see from Orlando on Saturday?
Yeah, it's been a while since we played at Geodis, so I think we're really looking forward to being in front of our fans. That's something that we've kind of missed. We've missed that, that excitement around us and motivating us. And in this league, it's hard to get results on the road, so it's going to be nice to be back home. And we're extra motivated. We dubbed this Geodis Park the Castle. We want to continue making it a fortress and making it hard for teams to play against us. And what better team to play against than Orlando, who's in a good place right now. They're doing well in Leagues Cup, and it's always a little battle against them. So I think our guys are ready. We've already had a few great days of training, and we're looking forward to it.
Thanks, Teal. It is also 90s night. As one of the veterans, you're a bit of a kid of the 90s. Any fond memories from that decade?
Oh, man, a lot of great memories. I'm actually with my kids right now. We're going back. I don't know if you guys remember, but the show like All That.
Yeah, I do.
Legends of the Hidden Temple,
Yeah.
Keenan and Kel, the sketch comedy. So my girls are 7 and 5 and my son's about to be 3, but we got them watching that. So it's kind of like a perfect thing right now with the 90s. Me and my wife have so many great memories of watching stuff when we were younger, or listening to TLC or No Doubt or Boys to Men, or, me and my sister jamming out to all that stuff. So 90s, for me, is the best decade.
Awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
Teal. We'll start with Bob.
Yeah.
What'd you learn from those 3 losses on the road?
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot from losses and from wins too. But in particular, I think it's how our group has come together. When things are going great, I think it's easy for everybody to come to training. It's easy for everybody to sit there and be motivated and talk because you're getting wins. But it's when you maybe suffer a few losses, okay, what's your team really going to be like? And I think we've responded really well in terms of just how we've been communicating the past few days, how guys have been motivating each other. And we know that, hey, these games coming up, they're important. We're leading right into the playoffs, so what better time to, maybe have a couple setbacks to try to course correct as the season's kind of winding down. And I think there's a little bit extra motivation in particular to play at home now and to get wins.
Teal, you've been with BJ now for a little bit.
Yeah.
About almost a year now.
Yeah.
How have you reflected on that time with BJ Callaghan? How do you assess him as a coach, but also as someone you've been working with for a year?
Yeah, is he around here? No. I mean, he's been great. I mean, his attention to detail, his desire to always wanting to learn and grow from whatever standpoint, how he sets us up and prepares us, not only BJ, but Mike NCN and John Bello, how they prepare us for every match. The details they go into, Danny Sapero as well. We have a really good organization, and BJ kind of being at the helm and his supporting cast. None of them have egos. They're always there to want to help us as players, and they're straight shooters. As a veteran guy, player who's been around, that's what you want from a coach. You want someone who's going to tell you like it is. And at times you maybe don't want to hear that, but it's coming from a great place. And he just wants you as the individual to be better and then collectively as a group. So I can't say enough nice things about BJ and the coaching staff.
And then on you personally, you have a contract expiring at the end of the year. Have you had those talks about what's coming next for you personally?
Yeah. No, I haven't had any talks like that, but obviously I still feel good, and I want to play as long as I can. I love it here. My family loves it here. I still feel I have a lot to give, but I realistically don't really think of those things right now. Maybe when the off season comes, we'll start talking about those things. Right now, it's just all in on, okay, what am I going to do at training? How can I help the team perform on the weekend? Those things can kind of get in your head if you start dwelling on them or thinking about them. So I try to just focus on things I can control, and that right now isn't thinking about, okay, what's going to happen next year or 2 years from now.
I imagine it's going to be nice to sleep in your own bed on a match weekend and not live out of a suitcase, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. But anytime we get to, wake up, and praise God for a new day. And I was telling the guys today, it's like, hey, we get to kick a ball around. So even if we're sleeping in a hotel or sleeping in our own bed, we get to wake up and we get to, still play a game and play the game we love. But in particular, nothing's better than playing at Geodis Park.
Not that you want to go through a losing streak, but is adversity a good thing?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely a good thing. I mean, obviously you don't want to keep it going, but I think it builds your character. If you go through certain trials and tribulations, you're able to figure out, okay, how can we get through that the next time it happens? adversity is only good as long as you're adapting to it and learning from it. You can't just say, oh, I love adversity. It's like, okay, well, what do you love about it? And I think for our group, we really like to reflect on, okay, what things have gone well and what haven't. What's our identity and what isn't, and how can we correct that?
Just along those lines of getting punched in the nose.
Yeah.
I mean, is there value in that going into the playoffs? That life isn't going to be as easy as it was for a lot of this season for this team?
Yeah, around playoff time. I mean, most of these matches now, these last 7, and then also with the Open Cup, I mean, it's got a playoff feel. Playoff atmosphere is going to be there. So kind of getting stunned a little bit makes you realize, okay, these matches are important. We can't take them for granted. It doesn't matter what we've done in the past. Yet we've set ourselves up and put ourselves in a good position, but each game matters.
We'll go to Ben on Zoom.
Hey Teal, you got Orlando obviously this weekend, but you play them twice. You play Cincinnati. You have Miami coming up. I guess on one hand you could look at it as just really tough matchups, or you have a chance to not just take 3 points from those, but kind of take 3 points off of teams who are fighting for those same spots. How are you kind of approaching this stretch of games?
Yeah, I mean, the cliche is you take it a game at a time, but that's really all we can do. But I think you brought up a great point. It's not about just the 3 points. I think these are 6-point swings here. So I think it's really important for us to make sure we're taking advantage of each one of these games and knowing that it's going to be a battle. And we're going to need everybody to kind of dig deep and be ready for these games. That Orlando, Miami, these teams need points as well, and we got everything to fight for. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is an exciting time of the season, and I think all the guys are ready and prepared.
And then on the subject of 90s night, I was born in '93. My 9-year-old came home from school the other day and asked me what it was like being alive in the late 1900s. I'm curious for you, obviously with kids, what it's like for you. Being still a professional athlete and still feeling like a young guy, but also having these kids who have no concept of what mid-30s looks like.
Yeah, they have no concept. That's so funny you bring that up. I mean, like iPhones, if they see like a dial-up phone like in a house or something, they're like freaking out, like what is this like ancient device? They think it's from like ancient Egypt or something. So it is really funny, like technology and things like that. I'm glad we were able to live through like kind of like, all right, the .com bubble and internet, but they don't really know. They just assume everything's easy. We can watch any show we want because we have Apple TV and we could stream whatever. I'm like, used to have to go to Blockbuster. We used to have to just watch a commercial, or if we do have a subscription that doesn't have ad free, they're freaking out. Like, what are we doing here for 30 seconds? So it is fun, Ben, to see that with our kids though, for sure.
Jacob on Zoom.
Yeah, Teal, I guess back in May, you obviously went at Orlando City and beat them 3-2 in the U.S. Open, Cup round 16. I guess how important? I guess what maybe lessons, takeaways did you get from that game? And I guess how important was to be able to not only beat Orlando but do so with kind of a lineup of a lot of younger, maybe some Western used players.
Yeah, I think that just is a testament to our group that we have a lot of depth. We could take a lot of learning lessons. Obviously, winning that game is important, and the depth that we have. But this is going to be a new team. It's been many months since we've played that game. Orlando's kind of evolved into a different team. We've kind of progressed as a different team. So it's going to be a fun matchup. This time we're going to be at home. So I think we can learn that, yep, we know we can beat them, but we can't take that for granted.
And how much of a goal is just being able to host a playoff game this season, with 7 games left in the regular season? How much is that, a goal, something that you're fighting for? Yeah,
we want to fight for it. You want to have home field advantage. I don't think there's any way else to kind of mince it, dice it up. I mean, every team is trying to finish in a great position that helps them win a trophy. And for us, I believe that's having teams come here to Geodis Park and have to beat us here at home.
Corey, any 90s trivia for Teal?
Yeah, Coach got 1 out of 3. I fully expect you to do better.
No, I'm not good with trivia, but here we go.
Okay, I'm going to do one Nashville SC question.
I won't know it.
I also graduated college in '93, but you have a teammate who was born in '93.
A teammate is there just one in 93?
I believe so.
Let's see, 93, that put him at 32. Who's 32 on this team? Just one teammate? Oh. Hani?
No, it's Walker.
Walker is 90. He's the only one.
I
93.
believe so. The Lovitz
Really?
was 91.
He's I know that, and then
Yeah,
Dan's
I'll
older.
look up Hani.
Really? Okay.
But,
Walker. Okay.
Walker-
When was Hani born then? Is he,
95.
he's 95. Okay.
And
Sorry,
Joe
Hani.
is 89, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Joe's old,
Yeah, he's way older than me.
right? All right, I expect you to get this one.
Okay.
What is the stage name of the performer Robert Van Winkle?
I really don't know.
It's Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. Sorry. Vanilla Ice wasn't my guy. I was into Boys to Men. I know, but no. I mean, I was 8, 9. I'm not listening to Vanilla Ice. You know what I mean? I think you got to be born in the 80s to know who Vanilla Ice is. No, you got to be. I think you got to be
All right.
born in the 80s.
Well, you're wearing the Jorts kit.
Yes,
What tennis star of the 90s made Jorts popular?
Andre Agassi.
There you go.
Yeah, I
One
know that
eye.
one.
Same-
Yeah, I'll
Same
ta-
one
yeah.
that BJ got.
Really?
Yeah, same one.
Okay, then I feel good.
All right.
Yeah.